Hello, my name is Tatiana Webb, and this is Off the Record, brought to you by Nana Music Productions. Today we have a lovely guest in the studio with us. This is Ceandrys Black. I call her Coach C, but she is a holistic practitioner. She is the founder and owner of Global Industries, and she also has a skincare line, Raw Body Essentials. And she is also a doctorate candidate for functional and natural medicine. And I'm just so happy to have her in the studio today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Can you tell everybody a little bit about what you do with Raw Global Industries and Raw Body Essentials?
Definitely. So, as a holistic practitioner, let me back up. I actually first started as a skincare formulator. And as I began to deal with skincare, your cells, and just the 7 layers, I really recognized the reverse of raw is war, the war that was in the environment and just around. And it was really people deal with the outside in, but you first have to start with the inside out. And so that really opened me up to wanting to understand why there was war, mental illness, irregulation, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually. And then at the end, it manifests through our bodies. And so I started to go to school and get education to really understand holistic. And one of the things that the medical field does not deal with is go with healing at the cellular level. And that was really important to me because it brought it back to the minute that there is a formulation and we become existent. We start off as cells that go into tissues, and then we create organs and their systems, and now we're this living organism. So I wanted to do what is not done, and it's in my field with others. But in the medical field, it's the systems and then the organs. But in the holistic, we go with the foundation, which is the root. So for me, we deal with the root so you don't have toxic fruit. So there's a twofold. We have the skin care, the body care, and just doing things that we love that we put on our skin that are plant-based, nutritional, and healthy. And then holistic, we're dealing with the inside out for people who want to reset their body and bring back wellness that will bring forth the manifestation of healing and breakthrough for people who have a dis ease in the functionality. Here, I didn't say disease. And that deals with sound, smell, taste, actually the five senses that God has created. So that's what I do as a holistic practitioner in a quick summary of Raw.
I love that. And, just to tell everyone a little bit about it, we just hit our anniversary of meeting each other. So we just hit our 1 year. We met in Georgia at a Christmas, what is it? Christmas market.
Christmas market.
Yeah. And so I remember we were walking through and we were getting hot chocolate with my family, and mom kind of like had this moment where she beelined, like she smelled like the different fragrances that that Raw Body Essentials has, and she was like, what is that? And so she had to come over, and she met your associate that was working at the event, and told her about you. And at that point, it seemed like mom and dad were over in Georgia every weekend, just meeting with you, and and then also getting these pies at this other pie shop. So, but Coach C, she has been a real blessing to our family, and just being able to bring holistic wellness to my family. So if you are looking to, schedule a consultation with her just to kind of get yourself started and start that journey of getting yourself back a holistic way, just give her a call. We'll put the information at the bottom of the video towards the end. But today we are going to be talking about how music is associated in wellness and kind of how it affects the body. So, Coach C, can you tell us a little bit about when you first realized that music affected the body or was part of our wellness as well?
Definitely. Well, I have to say, this is a hidden secret that a lot of people don't know. I've been a musician since 3. And so I can think back to even that and the power of, even in our churches and our industry, how there's certain songs that deal with the body and responding. And so music and frequency can either heal the body or it can quietly harm it. Here's the key that before we ever had a language, we had vibration. Before we ever learned to speak, we learned to feel sound in our mother's womb. So sound has always been the body's first form of communication and is one of God's earliest forms of medicine. So to me, this conversation that we're having is deeper than music. It's about your nervous system. It's about emotional memory. It's about spiritual alignment and the frequencies we allow to shape our internal world. And to me, if you think about, I love to talk about this sound, we respond. Even with people who are in comas, they tell you, talk to your loved one, not like they're gone, that they're present, because somehow, even in their coma state, they can still hear. That to me is an identification of how powerful sound is. And I like to say this quote: life and death is in the power of your tongue, which means we respond to sound.
Wow. And I mean, it makes sense because, I mean, like how you said, you don't even have to understand what is being said. I mean, we're talking with music here with words and such. There's songs that don't even have music, that have lyrics, but you can feel what and emote and feel that. So the fact that on a cellular level of the body, our cells are alive, they're always vibrating, and so to be able to align, or use music to channel those frequencies and stuff to move the body, it's really interesting. And it's also, I mean, one phenomenon I know about with sound is, the tempo, like how tempo can regulate or, speed up a heartbeat, and how our bodies try to keep up with what we're listening to. So can you talk about a little bit about how our body responds to sound, and how it even works with like the autonomic nervous system, and how that
Yes,
helps you?
yes. Oh, my love language. So I want to share it in this way. So every sound that we allow into our environment becomes a biological instruction. So it tells the heart how fast to beat, the lungs how deeply to breathe, the nervous system whether we're safe, or we're in a threat. We call it fight or flight or rest and digest. And even the hormones, whether to calm or activate. So music is not background noise. That's what is key. It's a biochemical event. So high frequency music, worship, classical, instrumental, healing tones, they activate the parasympathetic nervous system and go, so this is the body's rest, repair, and restore mode. Breathing slows when you're hearing those sounds. Your shoulders drop, your stress signals begin to decrease, and then mental clarity, because you're in rest, it increases. Now, low frequency, since your standpoint, is chaotic, aggressive, emotionally heavy music, and it activates the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight, flight, or freeze response. So that raises the cortisol, it increases the tension, and that disrupts your emotional regulation. So if you think about working out, most people don't put slow, that's your cool down, but they need that aggressive because they're trying to, I can do this no matter what. It's pain, it's my cortisol, it's tension. And so the question is not like, do I like this song? I want to say the real question is, what is this song that I'm listening to doing to my body?
hmm I find it funny, funny enough, like with restaurants, especially high-end restaurants that are intentional with what they like, the whole experience. What they'll do is, if it's a high, like a high traffic period, they'll actually put music on that is like a little faster with tempo and different and those kind of frequencies, so that way people actually eat faster. There's actually other songs that you can put on that will instigate more drinking, like drinking wine more, and those kind of things. So it's funny how the restaurant in those cases, and how they're creating this experience, they are literally orchestrating the bodies that are coming through and the people there, and how they want the service to flow. Because if it's towards the end of the night and they're trying to close out, yeah, they'll put on some more relaxing music, more things that will get people to be like, oh, I'm tired, okay, let's wrap up. Or if they want them to sit there and enjoy it, then they'll do the same thing. So I find it interesting how different industries can play with music to make the effect of what the people coming in, because that's how deep music is working with us and how active it is. Like how you said, it's not background music.
No, it
So,
isn't. I love that. I just wanted to thank you for sharing that. Here's the thing that I don't think we understand. It's not about storing the music as much as is the body remembering the emotional imprint that's attached to it. That's what we don't lock in. It's the emotional imprint. And emotional regulation does deal with the blood flow, how quick the blood flows. I love what you said. There is also certain places you go to shop, if you think about it. They have certain music, certain stores. It's relaxed because we want you to take time. The more higher end, I'm going to say this luxury, higher price, it's not fast, it's slower, because we want you to think about the money that you're spending because of the value price point. That shirt is probably $300 and no less than. So the music is going to be different versus the other stores that are a little bit more economically priced. It's the faster music, exactly, because we want you to spin off of impulsiveness. We don't want you to think about that. We want you to make this exchange very quickly. And so when you think about accessing stored memories and unprocessed emotions, a melody can transport someone back to a heartbreak, trauma,
mhm.
a season of loss, a moment where their identity was stolen. But the opposite to that is also true. The right music can ground you,
Yeah.
uplift you, move you into alignment with who you're becoming, because every song and every sound, listen to this, is either reopening a wound or it's closing it.
Mm.
It's unlocking a memory or it's creating a new one. It's healing your receptors at your cellular level or it's destroying them.
Wow. And I mean, case in point, they say a lot with Christian music and gospel music, there is a frequency and an energy to it where that's the reason why when you're in praise and worship, that's why there's when you're singing with another person and it's in a group, there's that healing energy and there's that healing feeling afterwards, like, oh, all these endorphins come through and it's like, I feel better. And it's because it's at that frequency where it's healing you. And I think that's I forget if it's like 432 hertz.
432.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
that's the frequency of healing versus like 440, which is more like the modern concert pitch where you basically listen to, just normal music. But
Yes.
yeah, just those 8 hertz difference can go from, okay, noise, I say noise, but noise
Yeah.
to, hey, it's healing me, it's restoring me. And it's not just on an emotional way, which it is, but like how we said, it's cellular, it's physically healing your body.
Yeah.
So that for our songwriters and for our musicians, it's important about what you write and how you write and what your intentions are when you're
Mm.
writing, because you are affecting people. So it's not just that, oh, that beat sounds good, or oh yeah, I'm singing about XYZ. It's you are now orchestrating how people's bodies react to your music, and not everybody is the same. So it will affect some people more, and maybe not so much others. So it's like, again, it's more than just music. It's you are working with the biggest instrument, and the most complex one when you're writing. So well done. I love that. I want to talk a little bit about some tips and things for some musicians when they are writing, or even when they're just trying to get ready for a show. Can you give them a little bit of some more information about like how they can be more intentional with their writing, so that way, first of all, let's talk about songwriters. So and so that way they know what they need to be more considerate of when they're writing music like that.
I would say when we think about it, you have to come from a freelancing. I'm just writing because I'm emotional and I need to get those things out. And through that pain, something is manifesting, or the intentionality. So I want to talk to the diversity, right? When you're writing, if you're writing, you must understand first of all the intent. I don't know if you've heard this, but some people have shared that the best music sometimes comes out of the lowest seasons of our lives. And I think the reason why that is because we're impacting someone else where that's relatability. The key to that is if you are writing at that moment, like, wow, this is here and I'm low, but you always want to come to the narrative of how you get the breakthrough. So I would say to the writer, think about the narrative, even if you're just free writing at that time. And it's coming back, I want to use this word minister from the sense of serving you. Think about, how do I want this to impact? Do I want to relate to people and where they are, but do I want to also transition them to the breakthrough and the hope of this? Because a lot of times, if I'm talking about the breakup or I'm talking about my tragedy, but I'm not giving that listener the positive of how this can shift, I can possibly, through that and my own writing, create transference. So my motive and my intentionality is going to be key. As you're writing, once you have freelanced and written, my challenge to you would be then now ground yourself. I'm going to give you two hertz I want you to think about when you're writing. 432, but then I want you to jump up to 528. 528 reduces anxiety. And then now, as you're transitioning, even in that, think about the rhythmic drum that's going to synchronize because you want to speak to the heartbeat of the body and you want to awaken. So, thinking about your vocal harmonies, how you're stimulating your vagus nerve, you're improving emotional regulation. And so, think about this, the playlist that you are creating, you want that to be a part of that person's wellness plan. So when you're writing, write through whatever you're feeling freelancing, but then ground yourself, listen to it, and ask yourself, what is the intent of the listener? Do I want them to stay where they are? Because oftentimes the listener, whether you recognize this or not, can feel the energy. I'm gonna be real. Can I be really raw,
Yeah,
Tatiana?
absolutely.
Okay, I know when certain artists were high as heck and they wrote it,
Yeah.
because you can feel the vibe. Like, dang, they were high as hell. They didn't even recognize they were in this other realm because it took them into a state in the limbic system where it almost made their emotions paralyzed and they told you everything. And then when you think of it, you come back to it, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I said all of these things. So think about the energy that you're flowing in, especially when you're recording vibrationally. We're going to be able to receive it because 70% of you as the artist, you are made up of 70% water. And water is going to respond instantly to the vibration. So every sound wave that you do, your cells is going to transfer into that environment and people will be able to feel that. So make sure, again, your anxiety is reduced. If you're dealing with depression as a person, make sure that you're in depression recovery. Make sure that you've rested, you have good sleep, your hormones are balanced when you're doing it, and keep the vibe positive. I would even tell artists, I'm really big into essential oils and not just every brand. And you can hit me up. Make sure you have certain aromas, even in the studio, diffusing while you're writing because it unlocks greater depth, deeper depth, and higher frequencies. So those were key. I know we could have went like kiss, keep it short and simple, but I wanted to explain it first. So now what's my kiss? Make sure your emotions are right. Make sure you're grounded. Make sure you have intentionality, intent of what you want your listeners to get. And then replay it back and listen to the narrative and have someone else feel the frequency of what you've given. And that's how you will have success to the intent of what you want to give out to your listener.
I love that. Two things on that. One, what I encourage all of our songwriters and our artists to do is to go download a frequency app, do something, and go back and listen to your music that you've written, and see what energy is coming off of the music
Yeah.
that you've done. Because you can't do it after the fact, of course, but you can analyze what kind of energy you're putting out there with your music, and now you can be more intentional when you're in the studio or when you're writing in general. So I do encourage all of our songwriters and artists to do that. Just a little experiment to see, again, like I said, what your energy is saying, and what your energy is doing to people. Secondly, I know that we've worked together a little bit, and I know we have some packets as well, and kits for our artists as far as kind of getting them ready for shows and such, but then also like essential oils and stuff. So if there's anything that if any of our artists want to start talking to us a little bit about our kits, I think it's the Nana Set List kit. Please get in contact with me so that way we can get you a kit, and get you this kit has a tea that helps with your getting ready for. Actually, Coach C, I'll let you explain what's in the
Sure.
yeah.
So in the kit, we have a spray. Remember, I talked about aromatic. It gets you ready. It uplifts you. It helps to relax you as well from the anxiety and the nervousness. If some people are like, well, I like the energy, that's fine. We want the energy, but it transcends the energy into one that will flow so that you can really project and release what you need. Then we have the tea. That tea has a protection to protect your larynx, because when you sing a lot, sometimes you take the moisture off of your vocal cords, and that's when you start to get hoarseness, because now imagine it, there's no moisture. So now your vocal cords and the sounds that are coming through, they're fighting with no moisture, no wetness. So that's what that tea does. And then after you're done, you need to reset and be able to release. So there's a steamer, and what that steamer does, it releases aromatically, and it pulls out any bacteria, any viral, any negative energy that your body has endured after your performance, and it takes that off. So those are three components that we deal with. So again, we're actually dealing with body, soul, and spirit. Your preparation while you're singing and prepping, even on stage, having that, keeping it moist instead of doing the water, keeping that tea. And then when you're done, I need to reset and let go and just release everything and reset my energy. That's what that shower steamer does. And that's that kit.
And what's amazing is it lasts you like a whole month. If you're using it every day, it's a month worth of, that reset. And so I'm still using my oil. I'll put it on my temples, the little roller, and then I'll spray my face afterwards or before something, and it just kind of wakes me up. It's like, okay, I can do it. And so it's really nice to have that on hand. I keep it in my purse. That's the reason why I don't have it with me right now. But that's a really great way to kind of bring back those essential oils that you were talking about, to kind of just get myself ready to do anything that I'm doing, whether it's running the company, whether I'm on stage. It's a really good reset. So please get in contact with me if you're interested in one of those. And I mean, again, it's gonna be great for you. So I know we're running out of time, or running low on time, but I do want to ask my final question. So I know we've talked about obviously sound and wellness, and sound and wellness with music, but what would be a tip or a final takeaway that you would want listeners to have to associate with music and wellness?
I would say, as we're giving this, choose frequencies that are going to awaken your mind and lift your spirit. No matter what, music is spiritual. So when I say this, whatever your genre is, I'm just going to say worship, piano, 432 megahertz. That's going to be key for me. In your workday, choose sounds that are going to promote clarity, instrumental, soft beats, natural tones. Workouts, choose motivation rhythms that's energized without overstimulating. In your evening, choose grounding, slow frequencies that will signal your body to wind down. Anxiety moments, I have two more I want to give you, is use tones that are going to deal with your vagus nervous system, steady your hormones, slow tempo. Grief, that's something during the holidays, depending on when this is, whether it's airing in, Christmas time, New Year's. Grief is something that people deal with holidays. Use gentle acoustic is so amazing, right? To support your emotional release. And then whatever spiritual force or being you are, use instrumental music that is intentional and soundscapes in, because music is a tool. And the key to use it on purpose. It's not simply what we listen to, it's what we become. And your body becomes the ears repeatedly absorb. Healing is the sound. And so make sure, even in your own mind, silence the noise and the chaos so that you can have a sound mind and a whole cellular healing system. That's my takeaway for you.
I love that. Oh my goodness. Amazing. So, and I have no notes on that, so I'm gonna go straight to it. If someone wants to schedule a consultation with you, or to get in contact with you, or just get, any of your products that you have, how might one get in contact with you?
Of course. So we're going to give you the easiest way. Although I'm in Georgia now, I come from Hawaii, the Aloha State, which is called the 808 State. So you can call me at 808 799 7291. That's if you want to be relational and feel the energy from my sound. 808 799 7291. However, you can actually go to my site, www.rawglobalinc, RAWGLOBALINC.com, and you can meet with me there to schedule consultation. Make sure when you send it, you say, hey, this comes from the Nana podcast, and we will definitely give you a different special introductory and a coupon. So we don't give out the coupon code to everyone, but that's something that we partner because it's a support here, and we'll be able to see how many we're locked in. So that's how you can get in touch with us. And of course, follow us. We are revamping our page. It does say Raw Body Essentials. So on IG, Raw Body Essentials, Facebook, Raw Body Essentials. That does show the skincare, but we are now working to intertwine the two of them. And stay 2026, we're coming out with some great things, and you're really going to get to see. I want to get back to the community. So there'll be Facebook groups, and that's how you can stay engaged, because we want you to understand the power of sound. We want you to be whole and well, and we want you to be raw and no longer at war, so that we can revive your authentic wellness, body, soul, and spirit.
And if you are not part of her community, you really need to get in tuned in, because I'm telling you, I'm in and out of it. Like I said, she's Coach C to me, so what she does with her community, it's just amazing, and we'll have events and such. So, but yes, please contact her so that way you can join her community and, be all those amazing things. So, but if you like what you heard today, you can reach out to us and follow us on Instagram at nanamusic_off the record. You can follow the company as well at Nana Music Productions. Or if you'd like to follow me, it's web.Tatiana M. And just remember, this podcast was off the record.